Hello and welcome to another episode of the Trash Talk Podcast. I'm your host JJ, and with me today I once again have Sergej.
Hello.
So Sergej, you wanted to talk about something that we have never talked about at all.
Never ever before.
So we're doing what we kind of a continuation of last week's second topic. So we already kind of determined that Sergej thinks we live in the future, but there is apparently more futuristic things in our present.
Totally.
So we're going to talk about that for the first topic, and then kind of, sort of, something that relates in the second topic. So we're going to be futuristic today.
Oh god, I haven't actually thought about that. The second topic relates to the first one.
I realized that the moment we wrote it down, Sergej, it's so obvious.
I don't know, man.
I'm whenever I'm looking like almost into the camera, I'm totally looking at Sergej, so this is a bit weird because my camera is right there, and then my screen where I see Sergej is right there, and then my screen where I see other stuff is right there. So I'm probably never going to be looking straight at the camera. And it's probably been that way before, but I'm just now today I'm noticing it even more so. Because I had the camera briefly set up where it's like right in between the screen and me, but it was too far away, so I had to move it. Anyways, the future, Sergej. What is making the present so futuristic?
Oh boy, self-driving cars, man. They do be existing.
So technically, you could have had a self-driving car for a while now, but I'm pretty sure putting a brick on the accelerator doesn't count. So, yeah.
I don't think it does. I think it has to do the steering thing too.
Somehow that came to mind the moment you said self-driving cars. I mean, I know what you're talking about, of course. But that old action movie trick of just putting something heavy on the acceleration pedal and just jumping out of the car.
I don't think that counts.
So, self-driving cars are like kind of a big thing in of itself. I mean, it kind of connects to some of the stuff we talked about last week. Check that out if you haven't already. Like AI, or rather machine learning, is definitely a big factor there. But it is kind of crazy to think that you could just, like, sit in a car and, like, I don't know, read a book or something while the car is doing the driving. On its own!
Without anyone doing it for you. Or for the car.
I mean, yeah, I suppose you could have previously sitten in the passenger seat and read a book or something.
Yep.
But, I mean...
Or call the taxi or something.
Yeah, you have to think about all of the distances that you drive alone, though, right? Like, from work to work. Well, actually, generally, most days the other way around. Like, first to work, then from work, back home, right? I mean, that alone, for some people, is a lot of driving. And that is a lot of wasted time in a way. And sure, you can, like, listen to a podcast, like this one, or an audiobook, or I guess some music that's not necessarily productive, but it's nice, I suppose. But being able to, like, have your full attention on something else than driving, seems like...
That doesn't sound like a good idea, man.
What?
Anything can happen on the road.
I mean, assuming you have a self-driving car.
Oh, yeah. Then,
I mean, of course you're not going to have your full attention on something else than driving a car when you are the one driving the car. That's not what I was trying to insinuate here. Hey, you person who's currently holding your phone in your car, stop doing that. Also, no smoking in the car, please, for a variety of reasons. The main one being, if it's your own car, that if you drop your cigarette, then you're probably going to bend down to look for it and then cause a car crash.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually happens.
If you're driving, at least.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of smoking in self-driving cars either, but I suppose it's less of a safety hazard.
Yeah. I'm more fine with that. But... yeah. Okay. I think we talked about that topic a bit now.
Yeah.
Do you have anything more to say?
I mean, there's always there's a lot of moral questions that come with a self-driving car of like, avoiding pedestrians. I mean, of course, categorically, yes. Please don't hit people with your car. But, when it's like, protect the driver or protect the pedestrian, and then, of course, generally speaking, from a marketing standpoint, it would be beneficial to protect the driver, because if there is one brand that does one way and one that does the other, people are generally going to buy the car that protects themselves. But, like, what if there's two or three people on the road? We get into, like, a trolley problem situation, where is it really justifiable to run over 5 people just to protect the one person in the car? Ugh.
Yep.
I feel like we've talked about that before, possibly in conjunction with the trolley problem.
Don't remember.
Well,
we've talked a bit about it off camera for sure, but I'm not sure if we talked about it on podcast.
To be fair, if we talked about it on the podcast,
on any episode, right?
It might have been Alex and I, not you and I.
Might be the case.
Anyways, yeah, I think that's all I have about self-driving cars, but they are very futuristic in and of themselves.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How about us seriously considering and like planning, talking about Mars missions?
Dude, space travel? Like, the fact that we can leave the Earth's atmosphere and land on another solid body in the first place strikes me as futuristic, despite the fact that the moon mission was in 1969. Right? Like, that's...
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yes. And Mars. Like, we're talking about putting people there and, like, creating a livable environment for them. I mean, not terraforming the whole planet, but, like, like, possibly, like, setting up a camp that can support human life, which is crazy in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah. It's like, it is one thing to put people on an object that's rotating the planet they've left off.
Yeah,
I meant to say orbiting, not rotating. That is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know
anyway,
what you mean, though. But
yeah.
The ISS is actually kind of crazy as well. I mean, we have humans just in space, just like chilling. And
oh, yeah.
Losing bone density at a higher rate than any human being that is on the planet, even ones that have issues with their bones. But, they're not dying. Not immediately.
Oh, yeah. Just happens very, very slowly, like with everyone else.
Yeah, human bodies are not made to live in 0G. That's not a good idea.
Just not a thing. But, oh, man.
Oh, yeah, have you ever talked about whether or not you would go to Mars?
I don't think we have. I personally wouldn't.
Yeah.
Man, the ping.
Though, to be fair, the ping wouldn't even be, like, that bad. I mean, it would not be, like, you wouldn't want to do anything that actually is, like, real-time sensitive, but...
What do you mean it wouldn't be that bad?
I mean, lasers,
was it like... Still, that's like... What is it? 2 minutes? Or was it 2 hours? I don't remember.
Isn't the sun like 7 minutes? I doubt that it's 2 hours.
I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. Let me just Google ping to Mars.
Also, wouldn't it differ based on where in its orbit it is? Like, wouldn't Earth and Mars constantly be moving away from each other and then closer together again at some point, depending on where in their relative orbits they are?
Oh, yeah.
I assume they don't orbit the sun at the exact same rate, so...
Oh, it's like 9 to 42 minutes round trip.
Ooh.
Depending on a position.
Okay, what did they assume as a transmission medium? Also, technically, the ping would of course be half the round trip time, but that's just a bit of a nitpick.
So basically, that's the ping for the Curiosity rover.
Oh.
So I'm
Okay.
just going off of that.
What?
It only relays the information between a couple of satellites.
Okay.
First in orbit around Mars, and then it somehow relays the information back to satellites on Earth,
Yeah,
as far as I can tell.
it sounds
But
like...
it's hard to do research live.
Yeah, I get that. It sounds like we might be able to optimize that a little bit more if we have less bouncing around, like, within the orbits of the relative planets, but that's still, like, there's only so much we can do. I guess, yeah,
You're not gonna be playing CSGO.
you're not going to be live chatting is one of those things I think that should be noted. Like, you would just be sending messages back and forth rather than actually chatting live.
Yeah.
Which...
that is true, yeah.
Isn't necessarily bad. I mean, you can do the thing that people already do today where they just send each other voice memos, like, back to back. Like short sentence, send, receive, like, which I still think is a weird practice. At that point, just call. I mean, of course, not from Mars, because the delay would actually make it very inconvenient. But, like, on Earth?
Oh, yeah. There's, like, even apps to slowly send messages so that they take time to arrive.
Why?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I get scheduled...
For me personally, it seems really impractical, but...
Yeah, I mean, I get scheduled messages, right? Like, sending someone a message at a certain time, like happy birthday, like, scheduled, like, a year in advance, or, like, or, like, a reminder. But just... like, if you want someone to get your message delayed, just send a letter.
Yeah, but I think letters are a bit too much work for them or something. So they just simulate letters.
Like, I mean, to be fair, there is not a lot of upside of a physical letter, but I'm just thinking that it seems like you're getting the downside of the delay from the letter while not having any of, like, the not really upside from a letter, but, like, the, like, you know, humans feel differently about getting a letter versus getting a text. So you feel like you're getting a text, but you're getting it with all the inconveniences of a letter.
True. So yeah.
Hey, by the way, we live so far in the future that people don't call each other anymore, which is just one of those odd things.
Oh, I'm all for that.
Like, I hate texting. I mean, I don't like phone calls that much either, but I prefer them over texting.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know what to say.
I guess it's a bit situation dependent, right? Like, if I just need to give you a piece of information, I can text it to you. But if I actually need to discuss something with you, I hate that, like, the texting back and forth thing. Like, just sending you a text makes sense, right? But if I have, like, a series of questions, and then your answers might need to be elaborated upon, then all of a sudden, we're, like, there's, like, a 5 messages back and forth chain until we actually get to a point where we're all on the same page. Like, it's probably faster to just call.
I don't know. I don't really agree with that. Texting just seems way more convenient to me, personally. Because if your question needs elaborating, should probably do that in the first place.
Yeah, but it's sometimes not immediately obvious. It's also like walking someone through like a problem-solving thing, right? Like, you have a problem with your computer, and I'm telling you how to solve it. Well, I mean, in the case of us two specifically, that's unlikely. But just all right. Like I'm telling you how to solve it, and then if I'm texting, I always feel like I have to elaborate in far more detail just to make sure that you're getting it. Whereas if we're talking, I could like go step by step and inject detail as necessary.
Okay, but that is a different thing, though, isn't it?
Is it?
I feel like it is. At this point, you're not just asking a few questions.
No, I'm answering them.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. That seems like a very different thing to me.
I mean, obviously that was the clearest example I could think of, but I feel like that does happen in other places as well.
I mean, yeah, there are situations where phone calls are better than texting. But personally, I feel like in most cases, just write a few texts.
You know what I just noticed?
Especially if it's not as important. What?
You know what point we're on? Mars mission.
Oh yeah.
We're great at staying on topic, folks. Listen, right? If you can't live with us getting off topic, you're at the wrong podcast. Which, granted, since we don't have a topical through line in general, it isn't really that problematic. Speaking of human interaction, Sergej, what do you think about money?
Oh boy, hate it.
Well,
gotta establish communism.
Okay. Let's take one step back. What do you think about like paper money and coins versus, say, contactless payment, as it says in our notes?
Boy, I in pretty much 99% of the cases prefer paying with cash. It's just so much more convenient.
Same.
And well, actually, not convenient. It's much more. What's the word for it? Like you get a sense of how much money you're spending.
Yes. And you also get a sense of how much money you have, right? Like, sure, you have stuff on your
on
your bank account and whatnot, but I have a certain amount of cash in my wallet. If I notice that my wallet is empty, that means I've spent more money than I have taken in, since maybe some payments in and out of my account, but generally speaking, if by the end of the month my wallet is empty, that means that all the money I made throughout the month has been spent, sort of an idea. So I feel like it's very easy to judge the like plus and minuses going on. And also I just, as an experience, it's one of those things, right? Like how I take physical notes and whatnot. I just actually prefer physically handling the money rather than just the whole like, oh yeah, like here's my bank card, swipe it through, like don't even have to type my PIN anymore. Like it's just, and in a way, I think it has some advantages, though I don't think they're necessarily as prevalent for people like us where we already think about it, but people generally don't think about payments they make with like credit cards and whatnot. They don't think of them as spending money as consciously as they do when they're spending physical money. Because it's over so quickly, and there's no physical thing leaving your possession, where people are far more likely to go in debt with like you can't get in debt with physical money because you only have so much physical money. But like, people are far more likely to spend all of their money with like a credit card or something than if they have it cash in their wallet.
Oh yeah. I mean, at that point, I think like a physical display on the credit card that shows how much money you've left would be a nice feature.
Yes.
But again, that might lead people to target others that have a high number on that.
I mean, you would have to necessarily publicly display it, but I guess that's kind of where like paying.
I mean, if it's on your card, I mean, as soon as you're paying, it's gonna be visible.
Yeah, I suppose there could be ways where it's like you have to hit a button for it to turn on or something, but I guess at that point we're just talking about paying with your phone as well, which you can do contactless payment with your phone in some places. At which point you could also look at your levels. Like your levels, your money levels. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Your balance.
Balance. That's a proper word for what I was talking about. Oh god. So contactless payment seems both weirdly futuristic and simultaneously in the form of just using like a card to pay off your account is not exactly a new thing. But like somehow it feels more futuristic when you're doing it with your phone, I feel like.
I guess, yeah. Probably because you do so much with your phone already.
Speak for yourself.
True. Very true. But, oh god, did my camera freeze again?
Yep.
What the heck? I'm making a silly face. It's not great.
Oh, God.
Gotta fix it in a few minutes.
All right. Anything else about
forgot what I was saying.
Oh, we were talking about contactless payment, I think. Phones. You were doing a lot of stuff with your phone or something?
Yes. Because I think it has something to do with because we're doing a lot with our phones already. Like some people don't even own a computer nowadays. Mm-hmm. They just do everything on their phone.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. Dude, phones are way too even the big phones. It's still first of all, touchscreens I don't like that much. Even though I like it in theory, but in practice it just doesn't perfectly work well enough sometimes that it still annoys me. You also don't have any haptic feedback, which is a bit annoying. In some you do, but even the biggest phones, their keyboards, even the virtual ones, are way too small to really type on somewhat comfortably.
Yeah, I get that. But yeah, the point I was making is that now a huge part of what they have been doing without their phone, because they couldn't, they had to use their card or pay in cash, now also is being done by their phone or with their phone.
Yeah.
I think it feels way more futuristic than it actually is.
Yeah, because I think the underlying technology isn't even that complicated. And also, just FYI, just the more and more we rely on our phones for everything, the worse it gets when your phone gets stolen, just as a side note.
Oh, yes.
I mean, or when you lose it, but that doesn't seem to happen as much to people.
Yeah.
But dude. Just the sheer power you have over someone's life by just having their phone.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
Whoop. All right.
Kind of sort of dystopian.
Yes, I mean, we live in a dystopian world. I'm not sure if you've realized.
Oh, yeah, I've known it for quite a long time. Okay, let me just fix my camera.
Okay, because I was about
It's not okay.
And there, we see a very tiny depiction of Sergej's avatar. I just love that where it's oh yeah, this is what Sergej's avatar looks like. And then a bunch of blue around it. So I guess that's most of the futuristic things. I know there's one more thing that you probably want to talk about because it seems like you want to...
No, not really.
Okay, cool.
We've kind of sort of talked about it already.
Okay, could you tell me what our 4 options for the halftime show are in a numbered order, so that when I determine a random number, people actually know what I'm talking about, because you accused me of having the possibility to cheat last time. Well, I mean, I did have the possibility to cheat.
So the topics are: first, would you rather?
Yes.
Second, GeoGuessr. Third, higher lower. And fourth, Google Feud.
Okay, so we have a new feature, folks. I know there's not as much going on the screen right now as you would want to, but would you have a look at that?
It's dark.
Is a black square. But it's so much more than that. Because if I do, would you look at that? Huh?
Oh boy, that is fancy.
That wasn't actually really... I believe this is readable. I can't really read it from here, but... Well, I can physically down there, but...
I think it's a 1.
It's a 1, yes, it's a 1. So, that means we're doing Would You Rather once again. Also, you wouldn't believe how much setup it took just to get, like, that one very short bit in there. Like, seriously.
Can my camera please focus on me? Thanks.
I'm going now to
Hey, I'm back.
.io. And once I am there, I can then put ourselves right there. So.
Great.
Would you rather...
Is my head too big?
It seems a little bit big, but I think that might have been the case when I set it up before as well, so... I mean, it's fine.
I can zoom out a bit, that's not a problem.
I mean, the thing is, well, let's see real quickly. If I think it's more of a cropping thing.
Okay.
I should have maybe not cut quite as much. I should have cut a little bit more of the top or just zoomed out in general. It doesn't matter. Would you rather always disappoint people or always anger people? It would be a serious feeling of deep disappointment.
Ooh, that's actually a tough one. I'd probably go with anger people.
See, I'm gonna go with retaining the status quo.
Oh boy.
What
a spicy decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with disappoint. I feel like disappointment isn't as problematic as anger. But, of course, in terms of actually what we're doing right now, this probably wouldn't be the best reaction for people to have. I mean, I guess we wouldn't want to make them angry either, but at least that would get us views, I suppose. Would you rather find a book about everything about the past or about everything about the future? I don't know what it says about twice there. Shouldn't that be just everything about the future? Find a book about everything in the future, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this is wrong the way it's written. It just isn't very good from a stylistic standpoint. I don't know why I'm
unnecessary.
I don't know why I'm always like picking apart the writing or like the choice which color is which and that stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. How thick are those books?
Well, Sergej, they're about everything in the future and past.
Boy.
I mean, I guess that's the worst part,
also,
right?
Are we gonna get recursion?
Oh, is it gonna have the contents of the book within itself?
I don't know, man. If it's about everything about the past, gotta be better writing about itself.
And its contents were, right? But I mean, even without it being infinite, it's still... Even without the recursion, it still seems like... It would be... If it's literally everything, it would be way too detailed for, like, a regular book. But I suppose we could say it's like some sort of database or something where like you can like flip to a page and then you can like get more granular as you go or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there's... I suppose the question is, would you rather know everything about the past or know everything about the future, or at least be able to find out everything about the future and past? I guess it's what it's really boiling down to.
I'm gonna go with the future.
I
Gonna have so many opportunities to get rich.
okay. I'm gonna go with the typical caveat of knowing the future. Does knowing the future allow us to change the future? Because if not, then that's literally the worst thing, right? You know everything is going to happen, but you have no influence over it. That seems horrible.
I mean, if the book already accounted for me knowing what is written in the book,
So that's where it depends, right? If I can make use of the future knowledge, then of course that is the obvious choice. However, since I cannot guarantee that, I would pick the past, because technically the past goes up until like a Planck second before I got the book, I suppose. If it's self-updating, a Planck second before I read it, right? Like, it's just everything that is not the present. So,
I guess, yeah.
So, since it virtually includes the present, it gives me so much information that I could use just as well as having future knowledge, almost.
I guess.
Let's just start with the fact that I could basically do insider trading without actually having any tangible way to get the inside information, right? They can't really get me for it because there's no way I could know these things. And so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'll take the past, but again, just because you never know about what that future thing looks like.
Yeah.
Would you, for the rest of your life, would you rather live in a Toyota Prius or live in your bathroom for the rest of your life? Which, by the way, that reads, for the rest of your life, would you rather A, live in a Toyota Prius, or B, live in your bathroom for the rest of your life? You get what I'm getting at, right? It says for the rest of your life twice! How is this so hard? People!
Remember, for the rest of your life, this is your home.
Okay, for starters, like something being your home and living in it. Like, if I'm thinking of a home, it's not a place that I would be trapped in eternally, right? It's something that I can leave at any point in time. In which case, neither one strictly limits me. If we're assuming that I'm stuck in there all of the time, then either one seems highly impractical. This is a weird question.
I don't know. If you're trapped in the thing and cannot leave it, I think a Toyota Prius is still better because you still can kind of sort of move around.
Yeah, I was thinking having a toilet would be good.
I just open the window and
shit out the window. Ah, yes. You make a convincing argument. No, I think having access to like a toilet and a shower would be neat. And then you would just have to have someone to just get you everything you need in your life.
Yeah, I guess.
We're just gonna tear down a lot of walls and gonna just make the bathroom extend throughout just an entire like building level. And you have a full home, but it's technically a bathroom as well.
just remove all the doors.
Exactly.
It's one continuous space now.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, you just set up a computer, you put a bed in there. Like, I now have internet and a bed. I mean, that's really all I need in my life anyways. I have access to I have the possibility of taking showers and shits. Like, I think I'm gonna take the bathroom.
Yeah, sure.
Not to mention that, I mean, I suppose I was about to say not to mention that the Prius isn't gonna last forever, but I guess both things could be repaired, so that's not intrinsically a problem. Would you rather sleep on the floor wearing PJs but have no pillow, or sleep on the floor entirely naked but have one pillow? You're making a lot of facial expressions,
man,
but you're not using your words.
I don't think it's I don't really care. Both are, I think, fine.
I mean, technically both are fine, though naked you definitely have to turn the temperature up a bit because that could otherwise be a problem. But I think I would take the pajamas just because I don't
I mean,
think...
you're probably gonna have a blanket and stuff. I don't know. Maybe a carpet, stuff like that.
It doesn't say. I mean, carpet would be fair game, I think. At the very least. I don't think I need a pillow. I guess I don't need clothes either, but I'd be a lot more comfortable with them for sure. Also, side note, isn't saying like once? Because like a lot of these are like for the rest of your life and whatnot, but this sounds like it's just once. The name is An Awkward Night's Sleep.
Oh.
Which is like, big deal. Right?
Yeah.
Oh god. I love the top comment. Cold night, wear PJs. Warm night, take off PJs and use them as a pillow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take pajamas.
The username checks out.
Think about it. Oh god. Oh, we're talking about futuristic accessories, Sergej. If you could only choose one futuristic accessory to own, would you rather Google Glass or Apple smartwatch? Doesn't have to end in would you rather? Because I feel like adding the word have, then that would make more sense, right? Or otherwise you could add it to the beginning of the... I know I'm picking all these apart on like very dumb reasons, but... Is Google Glass even still a thing?
I don't think it is. But I guess you could still use it if you have one.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think it's just bricked.
I feel like Google Glass seems to be the answer for me. I don't know, does it work with regular glasses? I think so, right?
I think, yeah.
Because otherwise, of course, it would be less practical, but...
Wasn't it just like a small brick of glass, like right about here?
Yeah.
You can just look into?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, it seemed like a pretty cool thing when they first introduced it, and then nothing really ever happened with it.
And I still think it's a really cool thing. Just no one does stuff with it anymore.
Say, it would need the support, right? Like, just having the technology without the support is kind of useless. But I'm not a big Apple fan. And
I mean, also the Linux community is gonna do its thing with it.
And I think the Apple Watches require an iPhone to really work properly, don't they?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
And I'm not about to get an iPhone.
Totally would not surprise me.
So,
yeah.
Were you also leading Google Glass, or?
Oh yeah, easy pick. Didn't even have to read the second one.
Would you rather play one-on-one with Michael Jordan, not in his prime, which, again, the word his is missing, though, again, it's kind of like bullet points, I'm gonna allow it, or play one-on-one with LeBron James in his prime?
I don't know who these people are.
Basketball players.
Okay, good.
A, I'm gonna lose
how
either
good
way.
were they?
I mean, they were two of the best, like, or at least of the most well known.
Probably Michael Jordan.
I don't I legitimately don't care. Like, A, I'm not gonna win either way. Like, there is no way I'm winning against either of them.
Sure.
B, I don't think that's even the goal. And C, I would much rather sit on my couch. Thank you very much. Which, coincidentally, I'm currently doing. But, I don't have the desire to do either. I guess you said Michael Jordan. Let's click Michael Jordan. Like, yeah.
I don't know.
Let's do one more.
Sure.
Would you rather have a lightsaber or have a helper monkey? A legit Star Wars lightsaber or a helper monkey that would do anything for you within reason and PETA rules? I don't know what PETA's rules on helper monkeys are, for starters. Second of all, they're probably not very reasonable because they're PETA.
Yep.
Having said that,
Boy,
I feel like lightsaber seems like the cooler choice. But the question is, when in your daily life are you actually gonna have a use for a lightsaber?
But it's cool, though.
I know, right?
I can't decide. It's like one thing that would actively help you in your daily life, and one thing that's just cool. Oh boy, that is hard.
Like, for practical reasons, you'd have to pick the monkey, but, like, the lightsaber, I mean,
especially for me playing Beat Saber, like, I could just flex so hard on everyone else.
Okay, counterpoint. A legit Star Wars lightsaber is far beyond any of our currently existing technology.
Sure, but it's...
Meaning...
still mostly cool.
Meaning, it is arguably incredibly valuable. Do you see where I'm going with this?
You're not gonna sell this thing, are you?
You can buy multiple monkey butlers!
They're probably not gonna be trained as much as the helper monkey that is offered here.
What I'm saying is that if you pick lightsaber and you end up regretting it, you could probably switch that back, and the other way around, there's no way. No one's gonna trade your monkey for a legitimately working lightsaber.
And I'm gonna pick lightsaber. That's.
You know, I was just kind of rationalizing why picking lightsaber makes sense, and I think I figured it out. Because worst case scenario, I'm gonna buy a monkey from my lightsaber sale. Also, it's just a really useful tool, I think. Like, if you have to cut something...
What, the monkey or the lightsaber?
The lightsaber. Like, I mean, the monkey too, but, you know, if you ever have to, like cut something, like anything, right? Like stone, metal. Preferably not wood, because that's probably flammable, but, like... I think lightsaber might actually be useful.
Not really in day-to-day life.
Nah.
It's like, especially for us, it's like maybe once a year thing. But you're gonna be looking cool as heck doing it.
I feel like I would at some point, probably not even that long after having it, out of pure curiosity, disassemble it, and then break it and not be able to reassemble it.
Yep. True.
Like, great. Now I have a broken lightsaber. I would never disassemble the monkey, though, so, you know, there's that.
I think that would be against PETA rules.
Fair enough. You make a compelling argument. Is it just me? Or did we totally skip over the fact of the week?
Oh, yeah, we did. I just remembered that.
Yeah, because I was like trying to get like the whole like dice cam thing going while you were setting up your camera. So like I was like, oh yeah, we have something to do. But I totally didn't even think about the fact that, well, there was supposed to be facts.
Oh yeah, totally. So I'm gonna. Oh god, I'm gonna mispronounce that name so hard. Um, do you, by any chance, know of Alan Eugene McGee?
I don't think so. Should I?
Probably not. So he was an American airman during World War II, and
Okay.
the thing that made him famous was that he survived a fall from his damaged B-17 Flying Fortress from a rather big or large height.
Yes.
Um, do you maybe wanna guess the height
I would assume they're
he
less.
fell from?
I would assume they fly lower than passenger airplanes, wouldn't they?
I mean, what height do passenger airplanes fly?
I wanna say somewhere in like the double digit, like somewhere like the tens of thousands of feet. I am reminded of a song lyric that claims 35,000 feet. I'm not sure if that is just generally the height of passenger airplanes. I don't know.
That would be, think roundabout right.
So I don't know, like 25,000 from when he fell. I don't know. Feet.
Oh yeah, 22,000 feet, not 22 feet.
22 feet. It was a miracle that he lived. He fell from like 7 meters.
Yeah.
That's like more than 3 tall humans.
That would be pretty impressive. I mean, if the B-17 was actually damaged, it probably crash landed like in a pretty close to him.
It's just he fell from 22 feet and lived, and then his plane crashed into him and he died. Dude, this is the second time I've been getting relatively close to guessing whatever you had me guess.
Oh yeah. Ah boy. So yeah, what is your fact of the week?
Well, while I don't think a cat can become a lawyer in the United States, there was once a lawyer who found it necessary to specify that he was in fact not a cat. Because on a recent Zoom hearing, his child had previously used his computer and had turned on a filter that made the camera's subject appear to be a cat. So this guy shows up to his Zoom meeting basically in court, looking like a cat, which the judge then posted on Twitter for all the world to see because it was funny as all hell. That's it. That's my fact of the week.
That is great. That is one of the best facts of the week I've ever heard.
I love like if I can find it, it shouldn't be that hard. I'm gonna put a link in the description, or maybe an info card. I think it's on YouTube. But it's like the lawyer's like, I am not a cat, and the judge just responds with the funniest thing where he says, I can see that. To which I'm like, but like that's the one thing that like. He looks like a cat. Like, you can hear clearly that he's not a cat, but, like, can you see it? Anyways. Like, yeah. I just love that he was like, I'm president, I'm not a cat. So, yeah.
I'm Googling that. Okay, yep. That definitely looks like a cat.
It sure does.
Oh, it's great.
So yes, I don't think a cat has ever been admitted to a law school or successfully taken the bar exam, and yet...
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that was my fact of the week. Which now brings us to the halftime. Oh no, wait, we did that already. Second topic, Sergej.
Oh boy.
Have you ever known how we live in the
forgot
future?
what it was.
No, it's biohacking.
Oh yeah. Let's tell the viewers that biohacking is actually way more broad in meaning that than we previously thought.
Yes.
Did you know that drinking coffee is considered biohacking?
Or at the very least, by some definitions, it can be considered biohacking. Yeah, like that. But also, apparently, biohacking is generally a term that can be used for basically any sort of like homemade biology experiments that are like outside of the regular scope. Like experimenting with plants to give them different genes. Apparently, is also considered biohacking. I was mostly aware of the term in reference to experimentation on oneself and trying to augment human beings. That's more where I knew it from, specifically outside of the bounds of regular medicine. And that is also mostly, I think, what we're talking about today.
That is correct. Oh boy. Are you gonna first bring up a few examples, or just start discussing it straight away?
If you want to bring up some examples, you are welcome to do so.
Okay. Then how about putting really small and probably thin magnets under your skin to be able to tell which cardinal direction, you're facing, like at all times.
Seems...
Or also be able to tell where power lines are.
Oh, huh.
Because they do emit magnetism. Like magnetism, that's the word.
Yes. I mean,
they do have a magnetic field.
Yeah, I mean, electromagnetism, like if electricity goes this way, then magnetic fields go like around that. Like,
yeah, something like that.
I mean, mostly in a coil form, I think is the most effective way to produce a magnetic field out of like using electric coil, and just like the electricity would be like going like this, and then the magnetic field goes outwards or something like that.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Point is,
yes,
magnets. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure how useful it is to have a compass on you at all times effectively. And also, if you really want to have a compass on you at all times, I don't know, just carry around a compass.
I mean, who's gonna, in the modern ages, grab a compass from their pocket and look at it? Like, who's gonna do that?
I mean, there's compass apps for your phones, for Christ's sake.
Well, yes, but no one uses them. It's just way more practical to just open Google Maps or something. I don't know.
Or that. I mean, okay, I don't have a problem with people doing the magnet thing, but it just seems so useless. Also, whenever we're talking about people implanting stuff into themselves, you have to be sure to do it with materials that your body does not have an adverse reaction to, and to do it in a sterile environment so as to not get an infection.
Oh, by the way, that's the fancy thing. You're implanting the magnets like in between like layers of your skin. So the body doesn't even really recognize that it's there.
Okay.
It's usually, as long as you don't really damage the bottom or the inner layers of your skin.
Fair enough. Again, I don't see
So
the
that
usefulness
is.
in that one, but I guess you can do it.
I mean, especially if you combine that with being really good at telling where you are in three-dimensional space, I think that can push that skill to like the next level.
Yeah.
And it also works everywhere where you don't have cell reception.
Again, so does the regular compass. Like,
You're not gonna have a compass on you at all times. Come on.
just put one in your watch.
Also, doesn't require charge.
What?
Yeah.
What did you just say about requiring charge?
Yeah, like about the phone app.
Well, yeah,
Thing.
I was already talking about like
Also Google Maps and stuff.
I was talking about just a regular old compass. Which again, there's some wristwatches that come with compasses like built in. Also, it would not be too hard.
That is fancy though.
It would not be too hard to actually do that. And I specifically said include one in your watch because, of course, there isn't just wristwatches. There's also my favorite, the pocket watch.
Oh yeah.
Which I just imagine someone has a pocket watch that's like on, like if you open it on one side, it's like a regular pocket watch, and then if you turn it around, it's the same opening mechanism as in a regular pocket watch, but now there's a compass. So you just have like a double-sided pocket watch.
That's gonna be so fancy. But yeah.
Next.
Or you're gonna consider that probably similarly as useless as the compass one. But how about being like always being able to tell what the weather's gonna look like in the next few days or hours? I don't know.
I mean, it depends on how accurate that is, because most meteorology isn't that accurate.
like a regular phone app or something, like, I don't know.
Oh, great! So you have just have the weather forecast on hand at all times.
Oh yeah, that's basically what it is. You just gotta strap a few like a vest to your body, and on the back there's like I don't know, just gonna say like a random number, like 6x6 grid of like small vibrators. They just basically in binary transmit information to you. Can be whatever you want. The one example I heard was using just a weather forecast.
Yeah.
But like basically over time your brain just learns to interpret this digital signal.
Yeah.
That is being transmitted over your back.
Okay, I find that technology, first of all, this seems to be very much on the edge of whether or not it's biohacking, I feel like. Because it's just a wearable device, right? I mean, I guess it falls under that, but I find the weather forecast to be the least interesting thing you can use that for.
Oh yeah, me too. But it's just the one thing I heard it being used for.
I feel like...
I mean, it's a less advanced version of putting electrodes in your head.
Yeah. I feel like if you wanted to have information available to you through that sense, I guess you couldn't just use it for just about anything, because you'd have to learn to interpret it, so just like switching between different information will probably not be as easy to adapt to. But even if you just have a certain amount of indicators that you can be aware of at any time, I guess I would use that for status stuff. Like, I guess you could, if you have a phone app that connects to it, you could just like be aware whenever you have a new message. Which I guess at that point again, just turn on your message notifications. But you know,
yeah,
that would be something. I guess you could, if you have like a heart rate monitor or something, you could be aware of whenever your heart rate is like outside of the expected norms, that sort of a thing. But I'm not 100% certain of like particularly useful applications of that. But I'm sure there is something where it's like always being aware of certain pieces of data would be useful.
Yep. Or it's all kind of similar to allowing blind people to see through like an electrode array on their tongue.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like a lot more people heard of that than of the previous two.
Yeah, I think generally the idea of having, like, being able to get a sense that you normally lack is generally a good idea. And then I guess we could, as in the previous example, expand that theoretically to have additional senses that we don't normally have. The additional senses part is a bit more complicated because A, what would be useful, and B, how do we implement it? But
I mean, probably infrared vision.
That actually was something that came to mind for me as well. Like, you could either have something that, like, just an infrared camera that somehow hooks into your already existing optical nerves, or you could even go even more futuristic and crazy and just replace your eyes. I wouldn't personally recommend it, but
nah.
It could be done.
Oh yeah, about talking about eyes, how about giving yourself temporary night vision?
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of that actually.
Oh yeah, when we researched that topic on Tuesday, the one article we opened, there was a brief segment about a guy that injected some chemical into his eyes that gave him kind of sort of night vision-ish properties.
Theoretically cool. I mean, it's kind of thing where you have to consider possible side effects.
Oh yeah. I would not be comfortable injecting chemicals into my eyes.
Exactly, right? That's definitely a big one. But theoretically, having the ability to see at night or have better vision at night than we normally would have is something that would be very cool to have. Speaking of eye stuff, there is apparently a company that sells an ocular implant that changes your eye color.
Okay.
That's all it does. Your eyes are now a different color. It's purely cosmetic and can lead to the thing actually rubbing on other parts of your eyes and your eyes getting damaged, so don't do that. But it is a procedure that does exist.
Why?
Vanity.
I guess. Boy.
I just, that came to mind when you said, like, injecting stuff into your eyes. It's like, they actually, like, put a small disc in your eyes that, like, makes your iris a different color. It's not useful, but it's possible.
Yeah.
It has side effects. You shouldn't do it. Anything else that you want to talk about that can be done to enhance the human existence?
Not really thinking about that, but I'm gonna mention that your connection is lagging out like real bad for me right now.
Okay. That's weird because on my end it's perfectly fine.
Okay. Weird.
I mean, we've already been at this for a while. If you want, we can actually do the songs and end it, and then talk about the actual, like, all of the, like, moral stuff and the implications of biohacking next week, and just keep this as, like, the different things that already exist, which we kind of already talked about to some degree.
I guess, yeah, sure. Let's do that.
So I guess in that case, let's mention one or two more things. Maybe before we go straight to the song, or one more thing at the very least. There is a guy who does, like, a lot of that stuff. As a matter of fact, he has a company that sells supplements as well. Or I think he actually takes multiple. So supplements are one thing. Smart drugs, I think, is kind of interesting. It's just worth mentioning that they exist. But
Or drugs?
Smart drugs are just drugs that are supposed to enhance your cognitive abilities for the most part. Very popular in Silicon Valley. It's nothing that's like... I don't know that much about it, and I don't have that much to say, except that in theory, the effects that they are supposed to have are very interesting, but also it has been said that they might have possible side effects that are not as cool. And then there's, of course, a lot of stuff that people do, like one thing that's also weird is injecting yourself, if you're older, with the blood of younger people in the hopes of that helping you combat aging, which is a real thing that people do.
I know.
And apparently it actually kind of might sort of work for certain things.
Sort of, kind of, but as far as I know, not really.
Yeah, like, it's not worth doing, but it is being done. And then there's some stuff like people, like infrared saunas, I think, which are supposed to somehow stimulate something. There's cryotherapy, where like you get exposed to like freezing temperatures because that's supposed to be good for you. Like, I honestly, like, there's a lot of stuff that I like have heard of, but can't really say much about, because it's like things that people think will either like make them healthier or live longer, and that, as far as we know, probably don't do much of anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, because it's a lot of stuff where it's like, scientists have tried something, and they've had mixed results, and now they use the good results to make it look like it's just generally a good thing. But by they, I mean the people, like the biohackers, that are trying to self-improve themselves.
Not the scientists.
Yeah, no. Most of the
scientists generally don't do that.
Yeah. Most scientists, at the very least the good ones, don't cherry-pick their data.
Yes.
Do you have anything else that comes to mind of like biohacking technology that people use? Oh, right. I have one more.
Not really.
I think one more thing that just came to mind is, of course, gene editing. CRISPR comes to mind as a technology that is used for that.
Yeah.
And
we've briefly talked about that.
Your camera froze again.
Podcast. Serious. Oh, come on.
It's fine. I'm just gonna talk about CRISPR really quickly. We're gonna do songs and we're out of here anyways.
Okay.
So people have been using CRISPR to actually edit their own genome in the hopes of removing certain genes that can cause illnesses and such. I don't know what exactly the results of that are, but in theory it's a very promising thing that it is possible. Yeah. Again, the question just, does it work?
Oh yeah, I mean, if the disease is confirmed to be caused by some genes, I don't see a reason why it shouldn't.
Yeah, I just don't know how well gene editing works in like adult humans, or generally in like something that's more than a fetus.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah.
I would have to do more research, but this topic has kind of been the like, what do people do with biohacking? And then I guess next week we're going to talk about, should you, or should they, or like, you know.
Yeah.
Sergej, what is your song of this week?
Oh God, names again.
I mean, you picked it.
Sure. That is a fair point. Okay. Gonna mispronounce that so hard. So the the music, the orchestra piece, is called Danse Macabre. something like that.
Yes.
French.
Is it?
Yeah, like it's.
I generally know Danse Macabre more out of like a Spanish context, but I mean, I guess it would be the same in French.
Okay, at least the composer was French. Okay.
I mean, it could be
I don't
Spanish.
know if the
It could
name
be Spanish
is...
or French. I don't know, because I know danse is the same word, I think, in Spanish and in French, and I don't see why macabre would be different either. But I feel like it's a generally Spanish thing. Maybe it's just me though. Anyways, yeah, continue.
It was written 1874 by the French composer. Oh god. Camille Saint-Saëns, or something like that.
Ah, yes. So, Danse Macabre is a tone poem for orchestra written in 1874 by the French composer Camille Saint-Saëns. I'm gonna go with Camille Saint-Saëns. Because the two dots over the E mean that it's pronounced separately from the A, because generally in French, if you have multiple vowels, they become one sound. Except in that case, like also the words Noël or naive, where there's two dots over a letter, then that means it's not the case. And otherwise, the first name is definitely pronounced Camille, and Saint is definitely pronounced Saint, but or is it Sant? Actually, potentially, but you know, and then it's Sain. It's probably just Sa and then a nasalized E.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I guess it could be French. Yeah, Danse Macabre. Yeah.
And if you click on his name, it's gonna
Oh no, it is French. Yeah, that is French. Oh. I always thought for some reason that Danse Macabre was a Spanish thing. Wait, let's see. I'm gonna quickly throw it in a translator just for my own curiosity. Translate.google.com Danse Macabre French detected Dance of Death. I know. Translate to the Spanish. Oh no. In Spanish it would be Danza Macabra. So yeah, no, you're right. It's totally French.
Okay.
Why was I? Huh. Now I'm wondering why I thought it was a Spanish thing. But anyways. You were right. I was wrong. Makes sense. You were the one who looked it up.
I was looking at the Wikipedia page, so...
So was I. Well, after I looked it up because I wasn't sure, but...
Yeah.
Huh. There's also, by the way, fun fact, I'm just going to mention this right now, but it's not about my song of the week, but there is a song called Dance Macabre, or Macabre, by the band Ghost, where they just spell dance the actual English way, which is...
Okay.
Not at all confusing. Oh, I guess...
Yeah.
I guess maybe because they use the skull aesthetic, I thought it was Spanish. I don't know. My song of the week is Maria by Blondie.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about that. I listened to it like earlier today and I was like, that could be a song of the week. And now it's my song of the week.
Nice.
That's how that works. Like, comment, subscribe. Join our Discord server, Sergej.
That's it.
That's it.